Welcome to the screencast for Plickers, which is basically clickers, but simplified. What in the world are Plickers? Plickers happen to be a classroom response app that helps teachers use very easily without having devices for each student. Some districts, such as my own, have iRespond, and those work for complete assessments. Plickers is great for quick, summative, formative, just really quick to see how the students are doing. Each student is given a card with a unique visual code. The code has 4 sides, each letter A, B, C, or D, and if their answer is A, they have A at the top. If the answer is B, they have B at the top. It's very easy to use, and all of their cards look different, so they really don't know what the other answers are. So it's very easy not to cheat. The teacher uses the Apple operating system, or you can use it on an Android as well, or their smartphone or tablet. It recognizes the cards, and it records who the cards are assigned to, and it captures the answer that the student chose. The results appear live and in real time on the teacher's device, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. But also I like to have it on the board as well, on my smart board, so the students, it's easy for them, as soon as their name is checked, they can pull their card down. This just shows Plickers in action in my own classroom. The students had a question and they held up their cards. This shows that they were just choosing a word that was spelled correctly, and as you can see here, where their names are checked, that they have had their answers, and so they put their cards down. This is just showing me changing and going to a new question. Over here you can see the graph, and they can see a couple students got it wrong, but most of them got it right. And it's important for me not to show them, they can see their names and see if they got it right or not. I can see it on my device, which is important. I don't want them to be embarrassed, and it's really just to kind of get an overall, do we understand it or do we not? This is just another picture in practice. Now over here, this is what it looks like on my smartphone. I use it on my iPhone. I also have it on my iPad. It seems to work faster on my iPhone. It picks up the Plickers cards quicker. Over here, this is just a picture. This is what it looks like for me. As I scan their cards, I can instantly see what child put what answer. Now let me take you to the Plickers website and explain a little more about it. Now, to get started with Plickers, you push sign up, you put in your first name, your last name, those sorts of things, and then you can sign up. But I'm just going to go ahead and sign in. And as you can see, I have several classes, and let me explain why I have all of these classes. When you begin, you create a class. So I'm going to put demo class because I don't have anybody in here. And for my students, I just started typing their names, so I can say student alpha. And I'll push enter. Beta, gamma, Bob, and so forth. I can have different names for each card. So I have to make sure that I give card number 1 to alpha. And then it recognizes them. Now, let's go back over here to classes. As I began adding a lot of questions, I realized it was very cumbersome and very difficult to see what I was doing. So if I come over here, this is my library of questions. And every time I add a question, I go ahead and I assign it to a class. So any of my math questions, I assign to math. Any of my language arts questions, language arts. I also made a couple of groups. These are my reading groups, Skittles, Sweet Tarts, and Starbursts. And I did it with just a few students in each for their reading groups. And I was able, I'll come back over here and I'll show you. I was able to whatever number that they already had for I had their names on their cards, whatever number they had, then I used the same number so they could use the same card over and over and over. Let me talk to you about the cards. You can purchase your cards through Amazon, and they're already laminated matte. It's kind of difficult to get the cards right now, so they said they are restocking in April. So what I did for now is I downloaded the standard set, and you download it, and you can print it on cardstock, and you can laminate it, but they say the best, if you're going to laminate it, it's to use matte lamination because you don't want the glare when the camera is trying to pick up the Plickers cards. Now, let me go back over here, and I can show you how to create a question and add it to your class. Okay, and I'm going to ask, we're doing life cycles, and I'm going to say, all animals come from eggs. And I'm going to make that true or false. And so, of course, that is false. And so I'm going to save it. And when I save it, it automatically gives me the option to assign it to a class. Well, this, of course, is a science question, so I'll put science there. You only want to hit it once. So I'm going to come over here to my science class. And you're going to see that I actually have already done this question with them. But I was just trying to give you an example. All of these questions have been already answered. And I can see that this class, which is the science class, has already been assigned this, and they've already taken it because it shows the graph. Now over here, it's added to the plan. That means it's scheduled. They haven't taken this yet. Now when I look at my library, all of the questions I've ever done, if I take off the filter, all of the questions I have ever created are here, and there are pages of them. That's why it was simpler to make a class for each one. Now, as I said, here are my classes. Most of them have 22 students, and then I have my reading groups. Now let me show you what live view looks like. This was the last question that I clicked on my device. Now I can sit here on my device right now and show you a different question. I am in the same group, and I'm going to go to another question. And you can see it changed because live view means whatever I see on my device is what you see on the computer. I can change it again. This time I'm going to go to my language arts class, and I'm going to ask them a question that they had difficulty with before. I can look at my score points. Oh, this one right here, this was 50%, so yes, we need to do this one again. So I'm going to check for them. Now, one thing that I think that is important to do is that I like to do is a couple of the science questions I asked them, that was really for me to see not their mastery, but what else I needed to teach. And it's a great spot check for yourself to see what else you need to teach. But in the same time, it helps you see what they know. Now, let's come over here to the reports, and you can see many different things. Now, I'm going to go to my language arts class, and I can see every question I've ever asked that I still have here. And I can see, okay, well, here I have 7 people that got it correct and 4 that got it wrong. And so we can look at it and see, okay, what exactly do I need to go over again? And it was a really quick spot check. I put this question up on the board, and they showed their cards, and it was a very quick check. Now I can now go further, and I can see all of the students. Okay, who specifically got this wrong? And let's talk with them and see where our problems lie. And you can do this with so many ways. I've done it for grammar. I've done it for comprehension questions. There's so many different things that you can use it for. Now, you can see these are some of my math questions. One thing that you can see also is over here. You can archive this so they're not always here. So once you see the data you need to see, you can archive it. But you can always find it later. Or you can just delete it. But I think it's best for data purposes to always keep it. And this has just been a brief overview of Plickers. Plickers has been a really terrific assessment tool in my classroom and also for other classes at Bryant. The students love it and they're so excited. Don't even really realize that they're learning and showing what they know all at the same time. They're, oh, Plickers, can we do Plickers? Can we do Plickers? I think it's a great formative assessment. Really quick check. What do they know? What do you need to change? This really helps instruction and it is a great tool to use.